Today's question is, how do people view a 21 or 25 or 30-year-old virgin? First and foremost, it's not like people can tell just by looking at someone. I used to think that there's actually some way, and I actually Googled if there was like some sort of physiological trait where you could tell. And that was in my younger days when I was dumb, but you can't tell just by looking at a person if they are a virgin or not. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. So first off, you shouldn't be so scared, and if it does come up in conversation, I'm here to tell you that most of the time it's not as big a deal as you think. And long story short, a lot of people have different opinions on this, and so many different people will say different things when they find out you're a virgin. Some people will hate you for it, and some people will love you for it. And sometimes it's just a roll of the dice. I personally think a quality person will not really care. In fact, they'll probably be very appreciative or happy when they find out. But in all honesty, if you're scared that someone's going to sort of see you and somehow just by looking at you know that you're a virgin, chances are that's not going to happen. I mean, it's really not going to happen. And some people can say, oh, if someone's very slutty, then they will dress slutty. Whereas if someone's very clean and Christian and a pure virgin, they will dress in all white, and you will know just by how they act and dress. And this is honestly not the case. I mean, if you've been in the real world for 20 years, you know that's not the case, because there are a lot of people who look so pure and innocent, and they're dressed in all white, and they act like innocent people who would not do anything. And they're major, excuse me for saying this word, major sluts. And then there are the people who are very sluttily dressed, skankily clad in, and sure, a lot of them might be just as slutty as you think, but there are others who just like that style of dress, or are seeking attention but don't get it, or just that's just how they're dressed. Maybe it's not slutty, maybe it's just loosely clad, and yeah, they're virgins, or maybe they've only been with one or two partners. In fact, I've heard a lot of stories about people, girlfriends, who are models or very good looking, and you would think with all the sort of high quality clothes that they wear and how good looking they are and how they're always in social light, that they have a lot of boyfriends and do a lot of hooking up. And sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it's far from the case. And you don't want to get down to statistics or percentages, because it's always subjective. You don't know if it's true or not. And maybe it's like 80% of these type of girls are just as you think, whereas 20% are not. But regardless of the percentage, I mean, screw the percentage, you'll never find out the truth. But regardless, you can't tell sometimes. And that's really how it is. But back to the main point, let's say you have gotten to know the girl, or you've gotten to know this guy, and yeah, it's a deep level now, and she or he pops this question, or somehow find some way to sort of slide this in to conversation. Quite honestly, I would say it really is not that big a deal. And if you do get into that unfortunate situation, maybe just due to bad luck, where you find a girl or guy and they just treat you badly, or they don't like it that you're a virgin, then you should probably drop them. I mean, you should have enough sort of honor in yourself to say, okay, this guy doesn't like me, he's breaking up with me because I'm a virgin, or he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me because I'm a virgin, which, first off, I don't think would ever happen. then yeah, just move on, be a man, realize that you are a quality person. I mean, there's so much other stuff that's more important than being a virgin. You have a good job, independent lifestyle, healthy, you work out, etc., etc. Those qualities are so much more important. And so, for those of you people who have somehow stumbled across this video and are asking about it, most likely you're not concerned about this. You're concerned about the fact that maybe initially the girl might be sort of put off by the fact that you're a virgin before you even get to that sort of serious relationships type of thing. Most people, they're scared about being a virgin because they feel like initially when meeting someone new, it might put them off. And that goes back to, first off, they're not going to find out unless they ask for it. And let's say they do, or maybe you have a jerk friend who brings it up. I would drop the friend. But in all honesty, it shouldn't matter. And if you really want my honest opinion on like what percentage of people are going to be like put off by this, quite honestly, it's such a wide variety of people. I mean, there's so many different types and opinions and sorts of people in this world, and quite honestly, it's such a huge motley group that I know people of all sorts who would they do in fact think of it as a sort of derogatory term. They would say, I mean, I know this one guy who's very good with girls. He has 100,000 subs on YouTube, and he's very good with girls, very confident. And he uses this phrase VFL, which stands for Virgin for Life, whenever he's like making fun of someone who's just not good in life in general. Now, he's not a cruel dude, he's not an evil dude, he's not a jerk. It's just like the phrase he uses to generally stereotype someone as a loser. So he calls someone a VFL. And so, yes, in a lot of situations and groups, virgins do have a sort of derogatory sort of vibe to the term. But don't worry, a lot of other groups, I mean, a lot of other people, especially girls, they value it. They'll be happy you don't have STDs. They'll realize you very, very much value finding that special person. And a lot of other characteristics. I mean, the church I went to, they so much valued virginity. And we have like an English service too with a white pastor, and he has a good-looking daughter, and they are all sort of in this sort of mindset where you have to abstain from this until marriage. And there's a lot of good-looking, very impressive, very successful, very awesome people who believe in virginity. Just off the top of my head, the Jonas Brothers. I mean, they're rich. They are role models to some. But yeah, it's always in the different groups. But generally, if you really want my general opinion, guys tend to be like, they tend to have a derogatory sort of way of speaking about virgin. In fact, the phrase virgin, the word virgin, just by saying it to someone, is in some ways an insult. And it just comes down to, you know, the guys who are stereotyped as virgins are usually those who are either not attracted to girls. Mainly like the stereotypes, the World of Warcraft player who plays video games all day in his room, and he's very nerdy and geeky. And so what, dude? The other side of it is the girls, and they sometimes love it. Girls generally, girls will love a virgin. They would think it's awesome. They'll think you're pure, you're free of STDs, you're not filthy, you don't sleep around, you're not a player, etc., etc. You're clean, you have honors, you have all these things. And I would say just keep it humble, because a lot of these virgins tend to get angry and bitter, and they'll use these sort of good qualities of being a virgin as a sort of bitter way of attacking those who make fun of them. And you don't have to stoop to that level. You don't have to be like, well, at least I don't have STDs. And yeah, so what? I just so happen to be a virgin. And yeah, so what? So what? So what, guys? So what? So what? I've tried World of Warcraft. I tried the trial version. It was pretty good. Not as good as RuneScape, but I tried a trial version. Got a level 10 Pandaren warrior. Got it to level 15 before my free trial expired, and I decided to drop it. Otherwise, I'd be addicted for life, like a lot of people I know. But yeah, it's really down to, there's a lot more qualities that I personally would be so much more interested in anyways. How successful are you at life? And that's not a superficial thing. It's just to show that with that sort of success, there's a lot of sort of personality traits that you kind of have to be forced to develop. A sort of independence, a sort of confidence, a sort of leadership ability, etc., that I really value in people. And as well as that, just how healthy you are, how much you maintain your body, how you treat your friends and family. All these things are much more important. And quite frankly, being a virgin is a good thing. Now, what if you guys are viewing this and you're not a virgin and you sleep around, and now you're scared that it's going to screw you over? Quite honestly, maybe to some girls, I mean, if you sleep around and you have like a bucket list of 500 girls, kudos to you. And quite frankly, if they ask for the number, I would just say you don't keep count. That's the best you can do. Again, it's always this sort of thing where you're always going to get haters, just like you're always going to get some amount of dislikes in your YouTube video if a large enough audience views it. And it's just like you're always going to get a sort of proportion who are different. And I think that's a good thing. Again, I want to go into biology again because I am a bio major, but genetics and stuff like that, being different, having all these variable traits in a population, and people thinking and choosing and acting differently is what keeps a species strong and able to survive and thrive. Mainly because if some sort of epidemic comes and wipes out a population because of the strange amount of variance, some group is going to survive, and then natural selection will favor that group, and then the prodigy will sort of continue on from there. Yes, I'm getting very geeky, but essentially, if a sort of epidemic comes, I'm not saying a zombie apocalypse, but maybe another bubonic plague, yeah, some people will be wiped out, and maybe it's the ones who were not virgins. There you have it. There you have it. And so, yeah, don't always think that guys will, rag on you if you admit you're a virgin. I wouldn't recommend shouting it and proclaiming it to the world, but not all guys are like that. It's just a certain subsection of guys, and maybe a certain subsection of girls who thinks it's bad. I think it's also down to mentality. A guy who is ashamed of his virginity will, in fact, project that shame. And then those who are sort of iffy on whether or not they like it or dislike it will go along with the shame and dislike it. But if you're a guy who is pretty much saying that he's a virgin because he chose to be one, and it's because he has an abundance of girls and he's very good with girls, but hey, he just chooses that to save himself until he finds the right special girl, that's a completely different thing. And if you sort of tell that to people, that's a completely different sort of vibe that you're going to get from people. People are going to react to that and think, man, this guy's awesome. He has all these girls and, he's abstaining because he wants to choose the right one. Man, this guy's awesome. Whereas if, same thing, you're also a virgin, but if you're super ashamed of it, and you're ashamed because you have a scarcity of girls, and this is where a lot of people fall, you have a scarcity of girls, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so ashamed. I stuck with girls and I have no girls in my life. I'm so ashamed. Then people are going to latch on to that, especially those who are not sure which side to take yet. And long story short, who cares what they think? You should disregard anything they say, even if they chose to sort of trash you on it or bag you on it. If they're very mean to you, ignore it. Regardless of how you think or react, you're going to get people who are haters. Just ignore it and move on with life. And stop requesting these videos on stuff like this. It's like, no. If you really want to, go ahead. But, yeah, that's all I have to say. So as always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. As always, if you know, subscribing is free. You just have to hit the button down below. And this has been Will, and it's another uncut video from start to finish for you guys. I hope you guys liked it. Another announcement, as far as cut videos where I do like very precise cuts and a lot of editing throughout, those might not be coming up again because I have like at least 20 uncut videos I want to upload that have already been filmed. But those will come afterwards if I do have the time to do the editing, because editing usually takes a long time. And so thanks for watching, guys. I'm up to 377 subscribers now, and it's very tough because it goes up, then it goes down. I lose 2, then I gain 2, and then I lose 4. And it's just this constant plateau for like 4 months now. It's insane, but regardless, I guess the people who are unsubscribing are unsubscribing, and I'm getting new people to make up for that, so that's fine. And yeah, you shouldn't be outcome dependent anyways. That's all I have to say about this, and I'll see you guys later.